Welcome to the Crossroad, where real people meet real issues and meet real life challenges. And today, just like we have been covering the last few weeks, we've been talking about family. We've been talking about family life. And today, I want to bring out the idea of parenting, the challenge in parenting. And today, this series is covered in two phases. Today, we talk about some of the challenges that actually parenting faces, and then we will try and look at some of the solutions in our next episode. So let's begin. The simple question: parenting, is it a challenge? Yes, it is a challenge. It's huge. It's big. It's bigger than we can think or imagine. Let me tell you four things that I know about parenting. Number one, it's hard work. It is not going to be easy. It is not easy. It can't be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. It is hard work. And parenting is a full-time job. I meet couples who sometimes tell me that, we want to get married. Within 5 years, we'll have had 3 children, and then we move on. And I ask them, move on to where? Where are you going? Because those kids are going to be with you for the rest of your life. When you're 90, you'll still be a parent. They may have moved out of your house, but they'll still be parent. It is hard work. Number two, it's not for the faint-hearted. No, if you're not ready to hold the bone by the hoe, don't get to be a parent. It's not for the faint-hearted, because your children will mess you up. So children will be an encouragement. There'll be a bundle of joy when they are from the hospital. Then you discover that they eat. Then you'll discover they have a life. They'll discover they have a mind of their own. And then they get to terrible 2, and they will have to start manipulating you. And they get to crazy 3, and you'll be wondering what exactly happened. And by the time they get to class 1, and they get to 40, and you're wondering what is wrong with. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's for the long haul. It's serious. It's not for the easy, lucky kind of crowd who are willing to just enjoy it. I have had parents who tell me, what, as we live our lives like we were before we got married, like Monday and Tuesday, he's with the kids. Wednesday and Thursday, I am with the kids. And Friday, we share together. And then weekends, we go out and leave the kids with the house girl. By the way, whose responsibility is it? I have had parents who are complaining about the school being closed. And they're saying, no, what are we going to do with the kids? Well, whose kids were they? Did you bring them for the school? And that's where the problem is. That sometimes we just think it is easy. No, it is not easy. It is hard work. It's tedious. And just the fourth point, which is important for you to understand, is that parenting is a lifelong commitment. It's not temporary. No, you will be a parent. And if you don't have children of your own, by default you're a parent. Someone said this, and when I talk to couples, I tell them this, that that the children are raised by a village. Now, I grew up in the village where if you messed up, everybody spanked you. Now, my problem was one: you got spanked by the auntie who found you messing up, and then after that they told your mom who would beat you, and then they'll tell your dad who will beat you, and then my mother was a member of the school board, will bring it to school on the school day, and I get a beating. So I got whacked 4 times. Then my dad got smarter as I got older, and he said, no, he's not going to beat me, but he'll give you a look, my friend, that I'm still remembering that my dad gave me looks. I try to do that with my kids today. They think I'm kidding, but they know when it is a serious look. It is a permanent job. It's a lifetime commitment. When they've gone, you'll still be worrying, did I do the right thing? I've seen parents walk with their children on a wedding day, and you see the parents crying. It's like, I hope I did the right thing. I hope I raised them up well. I hope I did my best. You must know this. It's not easy. It's hard work. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the easy-go-lucky kind of guy, and it's a lifelong commitment. The question then is this, that we need to ask ourselves. Serious question is this: if we are to be great parents, why is it that we have other people or other things bring up our children? So let me share with you. This will shock you. It will. 7 things that bring up your children without you even knowing. Number 1 is TV. TV is bringing up our kids. We grew up in the generation where our parents told us the story about the rabbit and the hare and all those kinds of things. Today, Tom and Jerry tells the story. The TV tells the story. SpongeBob tells the story. Nickelodeon tells the story. I mean, you can list the whole thing that it is the TV that is bringing up your children. And as parents sometimes think that's a good thing. What do? Let's keep them busy watching TV. And if it's not TV, it's this electronic things. You got their phone. I've seen children addicted to phones at the age of 1 year. Addicted to phone. wrong material for raising up a kid. You know, they say this about Steve Jobs, that Steve Jobs, yes, we know the guy and Apple, but the thing, he never allowed his children to watch it, play around with their tablets and all that. What does that tell you? He said, it's good for your kids, but not for me. My kids, I will raise them up myself. You, I can give you something to raise up. TV is number 2 is our house girls. Your house girl is raising your kids for you. I mean, and we understand that we are busy people, so you need someone to help you. The problem is this: who sets the rules in the house? Even the home one. Who takes time with the children? The kids reach a point where they know auntie more than they know mom. They know auntie more than they know dad. They understand. Auntie would understand what they're going through more than mom does. Why? They spend quality time, more time, intimate time, personal relationships. And sometimes it reaches a point where you could have the most beautiful auntie that can take care of your children, to the point that the kids actually refer to as mom. And I know people who've grown up today who say the person who raised us up was our house girl. And the truth is this: that could be a problem, but that could be the problem. Number 3, at the neighborhood. You know, I've had people who say, I don't want my child raised up in this neighborhood. Now, listen, does the neighborhood raise up your kids? Now, I want to move to this estate because that estate is bad. My child shouldn't grow in that estate, should grow up in this estate, which basically you are saying that estate will raise up your children for you. And of course, the child grows up with an attitude. I grew up in Lavington, I grew up in Runda, I grew up in, in Kileleshwa, I grew up in this. But no, you don't want your child to be associated with, I grew up in Kibera, I grew up in Ngomongo, Mkuru Kwanjenga, or whichever estate you are coming in whichever town or city or country you are in. You want the estate to raise up your child because of self-esteem and all those kinds of things. And the truth is this: the estate, it doesn't matter where you raise up your kid. If you raise them right, that child will grow up right. The greatest leaders we have in this planet today did not grow up in some of those posh estates we have. No, the truth is, some of the ones who grew up there are the terrible leaders that we have today, because they are spoiled little kids. They have refused to grow up and they are 60, 70. The truth is this: if you raise the child right, the estate, the walls don't matter. What matters is what you planted inside them. Number 4 is the school. Oh, let's take them to the school. The teachers do the cleaning, the disciplining, the straightening up, the character building. The truth is this: we need to ask ourselves, my friend, what is it that we are doing when we take our children to school? Schools, yes, help, but schools are not supposed to bring up our kids. They're supposed to go there and learn an aspect of growing up, and that is academic. A child is not an academic. A child is a whole holistic human being. There are morals, there is character building, there's spiritual, there's the emotional, then there's the mental. The mental part is the school, the spiritual part is church. But the truth is this: we think those are the only ones, yet we don't know how to deal with them in relationships. That's the problem. So we need to ask ourselves, what are we doing? Are we taking our children to grow in school? And that is why some parents are mad at the minister in charge of education. When are you opening school? We are tired of having them in our homes. Please, if you are tired of having your kids, oh, I don't know, I would have told you sell them. That is called human trafficking. The truth is this: you got a problem, and that problem is big. Now, others, leave them to the peers. I call them that professional age-mate counselors. They're the kids who know everything. They have got all the answers to the questions their colleagues ask. Well, how do you do this? Oh, this is how we do it. They are so smart. They are so shrewd. They are so good. They will tell your children everything your children need to know, to the point that you begin to ask yourself, by the way, where did you learn that? So-and-so. What did you learn that? So-and-so. Who taught you that? So-and-so. You ask yourself, did you learn anything from me? That, well, do you want to teach me anything? What do you want to teach me? It's that ugly. It's that bad. It's that bad. Let me tell you, there's a story of a man who had an 8-year-old boy, and he wanted to sit, and I'm calling it because I'm talking to parents. So if you are young and you watch this, that's your problem. But yes, I respect the ages that might be watching this on Facebook or anything on YouTube. But I'll mention it, because if I don't mention it, you'll wish I did. So what happens? This boy and the dad sit down, and the dad tells him, son, I want you to sit down. I want us to talk about sex. And the boy looks at the dad and smiles and says, so dad, what do you want to know? 8 years old. What do you want to know? What exactly is that telling you? It's telling you that, dad, I know so much about this thing long before you even thought you could teach me. I can teach you a few things. Really. Where did he learn? From TV, of course. Where? Internet, of course. Where? From friends, of course. Where? Neighbors. Neighborhood. Now, that is important. The next point is we are expecting government to do it. The government. There's a famous Kiswahili saying, asiyefundishwa na mamake atafundishwa na nini? Ulimwengu. But the truth is this, the world out there, we know if the world fails, the government only takes you to a correctional center where you're supposed to be corrected. Unfortunately, that's where they learn a lot more things. Government does not have a lot to teach us because there's nobody called government. There's nothing called government. Government is all of us together running our lives. The truth is this, many of us hope the government will do it. Government is not doing this. The government, Sirikali, we are hoping government will help. Who is government? Is a president government? No. He's just the leader of a pack of guys. And of course, most of us, particularly in Africa, we know government. You don't want to go there. And I realize it's not just Africa. Look at what's happening globally, the whole world all over. It is all messed up. So we can't leave the bringing up of our children to government because government has one assignment. Make sure when you're done, hand them over to us, we will use them. And when we are through, we pass them back over to you, you can bury them. That's exactly what government does. Now, when all that has failed completely, then we bring them to church and we send them to church and we hope church will help and we pray church will help. I have had people telling pastors, please, in your sermon today, please talk about obedience to parents. And you're wondering like, why would you want me to preach your sermon? You're supposed to be doing that in the house. Why don't you? Why would you want me to do that? Because you think the church is the ultimate place. The truth is, we just have. In fact, it's been calculated that the church has only 3% of the life of an individual. 3%. 97% is out there with you at home and your place of work. So, if those are the things that are raising your kids, let me show you how the media, which is the second thing raising your kids, dangerous thing. Now, and like I told you, I'll say it as it is because the truth is this, is not interesting, it's not exciting, it's not good. It is said that these 7 things sell the most. They sell the most in media. And when I talk about media, I'm talking about social media, I'm talking about electronic media, I'm talking about mass media, whatever kind of media you're talking about, these 7 things sell the most in the media. And what are they? Number 1 is sex. Today, we grew up in the days that when the scene came in, the bedroom came in, the door opened the door like this, they look at you, they smile, they turn the door, and then you hear a cock crowing, and it is morning. And our mind could think what could have happened. But today, they show the whole story from the car. They open the door, throw the clothes on the... And then, there is no hiding it. Dangerous, isn't it? Yes, it is. But it sells. And a lot of people are watching it. Unfortunately, there's a whole full industry just based on that in the media. Number 2 are drugs. Drugs is a dangerous thing, friend. It is dangerous, but it is selling. Have you seen the way guys smoke stuff? It's a beautiful, good music, but then you see guys, it is alcohol or it's cigarette or cigar or cigarette. What makes you think that when you're smoking a cigar, then you're cultured? And you have arrived and you're looking, you've got what it takes. No, it doesn't. Some people think that simply because you're dressed in this beautiful, nice little suit and then you have a glass of wine, no, that doesn't make you cultured, my friend. No. We know people who are fighting their lives just to get out of that thing that you're proud of. Drugs, alcohol, substance abuse seems to sell in the media, and it's not healthy. And we are letting our children watch that thing and we think it's great. And we have parents who think that they watch it on TV and they leave it and they think it's an achievement. No, it's not an achievement. Number 3 is violence. You see guys boom, 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 shooting, and it is really violent. Now, I watched 24 and Jack Bauer was had it. But try to imagine if Jack Bauer was saying, Tafadhali, please, may I arrest you? It'd be like, that's a boring movie. We want action, action-packed. That's the kind of thing we want. But it sells. When there's action, it sells. Then rebellion. Rebellion is a thing, my friend. I mean, someone has to rebel against the system. And someone has to be seen to be the guy who is anti the establishment. Rebellion is that. But you realize that's exactly what the enemy has been trying to do. To teach us that rebellion is fine. Rebellion is great. Rebellion is good. Press it on. Push it on. Run with it. You know? And you ask yourself, yes, it's part of action, but it sells. It sells. I loved watching Wakanda. I know you do. But do you know what made Wakanda was exciting? Now, when he was to fight the guy who wanted to take over from him. Yeah, rebellion. Now, the next one is vulgar language, which is some of you like watching Italian movies. Yeah, the F word and the SH word, and you need to show an attitude, the vulgar language. What's wrong with you? And people think that's really great. Yes, but it sells. The attitude tells you that this, you got to have it. You really got to have it. And you see, that seems to sell. Betrayal. Oh no, there's no great movie without betrayal. Now you have to betray someone. I mean, the greatest book in the Bible, the climax is Jesus betrayed by his best friend, Judas. Jesus betrayed by the people he counted on. Betrayal was at the center of everything. Samson betrayed by the woman he loved. I mean, I can give you a whole story. From the Garden of Eden, Cain and Abel. Cain killed his brother. Why? Betrayed him, killed him. Where is your brother? Am I my brother's keeper? It goes all the way up to the book of Revelation. The truth is this: betrayal sells. It sells. And the last one is fear. Now, in the movie language, it's called suspense. But this thing, you can almost tell when there's a horror coming. You can almost tell. Fear is passed in through horror or through suspense or makes you feel like, oh my God, I know. You can hear the sound effects and tells you there's something coming. Something is coming. It's huge. Your heart can stop beating. It sells, man. It sells. Those are the things that we feed our kids with. And those are the things that are raising our children. The media. Yes. Number 3, parents without excuse. Parents with excuses, sorry. Parents with the excuse are trying to raise children in this generation. It's terrible, friend. You know what? Why? They fail to be parents. Failure to be a parent is an excuse. You are a parent, you better be a parent. A lot of people are looking for excuses. It's not working. Failure to be a parent, and yet you produced children. What on earth were you doing? What on earth were you thinking? Or I wasn't thinking about it. Then what were you doing if you're not thinking about it? Really? Number 2 is, this is parents with excuses, being a friend first instead of being a parent. I love my kid. Now, some of the language we use for our children make us liars and not really being honest. I can do anything for my child. That's a good statement. Truth is, you're not being honest. I love my kids. I could do anything. I live for my children. No, you can't live for your children. What happens when they leave? Then you have nothing to live for. You want to die after that? No. You're my friend, you're my best, you're my everything. The truth is, they're not your everything. They're not the air you breathe. But if your children are first your friends and you are not a parent to them, then you know what friends happen? Friends don't correct each other. Friends sympathize with each other instead of disciplining each other. Yes, friends don't discipline. They sympathize, they empathize, they feel woye for you. So when you fail miserably as a parent, because you're being a friend first, you want to win favors and you want to be a nice, good person to your child, no, you're lying to your child. You're not helping that child grow up right. Number 3 is when there's no discipline. A parent without disciplining on a child is poor parenting, terrible parenting. Learn to discipline. That child won't die. That child will straighten up. That child will appreciate it thousands of years later, hundreds of years later, tens of years later, many years later. They'll say, thank you, mom, for disciplining me, because we are not equal in this home. No, there is no democracy in a home. No, you can't raise up a democratic home, because there must be a leader and a follower. There must be. We can't be negotiating that. Can you go wash dishes? No, I don't feel like washing dishes. I'm watching a movie. Really? Oh, when that child reaches 40 and can't wash dishes and wonders what, will still be staying in your house, and you're wondering, what did I do wrong? Of course, you are democratic. Eat that now. Make your bed, sleep on it. Discipline is key. The Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. The truth is, no child has ever died because they were disciplined. Oh, some of us were disciplined. We got beaten. We got whacked. And today we look back and say, thank God I was whacked. You know, because if I wasn't, I would have been a spoiled little brat. Yes, you know, homes without rules. Even a playground has rules. Even a toilet has rules. Why would you raise a home with no rules? The things that must be done at a specific time in a particular way. Why would you want to raise a home without rules? The generation that we are of parents today do not have rules in their homes. Then they blame the children why the children broke the things. But you didn't tell me. I didn't know. We grew up in the day that if you were supposed to be home by 6, whether you had a watch, a clock, or the sun, home by 6, you knew what time 6 was. And Dad, I don't have a watch. Really? 6 o'clock? Ask the neighbor. There's a city clock. If you're in the village, find out before the sun goes down. Because when Dad got home before you, it was 6 o'clock. You'll discover that 6 o'clock can come at 3. Yes. The point is, rules help train people, because we live in a world where it is a rule, a world governed by rules. God has put rules around nature. They are there to help us do the right thing. Parents who keep hoping that someone else will do it. Don't hope. You better do it. Don't just hope. You better do it. Because if you keep hoping, trust me, you're letting down your children. You're letting down your family. You're letting down your family. And big time. Don't hope. Do it. And parents have given up. What will I do? What can I do? Who am I? Really, I don't know what else to do. No, you can't give up. Those are your kids. Their blood, your blood runs through them. They are your flesh and blood. It is your responsibility. Stand up and be the man or the woman that God created you. You see, now when you get there, then you begin to realize that point number 4 is misplaced priorities in raising children. Number 1 about misplaced priorities is when you think that money, success, and money is more important than raising a generation of honest, good, God-fearing children. You can give them all the money you want, trust you me. When you're done, they will still eat even the ones you left, and they will have nothing to show for their lives. Look at the generations. Look at this nation. Just look at this nation. Look at families that grabbed land, grabbed money, stole things from this country, and put billions, even trillions in accounts of their children. Look at where their children are. A lot of them are fighting over that money. A lot of them are fighting over, they are in court. In fact, the guy enjoying are lawyers. Lawyers are taking fun, having lots of fun. You know what? You and I must take that on. Seeking money and thinking success is what we give our children? No. Pursuing career over your family as a priority is a mistake. You see, once you choose to have kids, balance. That balancing is great. It's a price you must be willing to pay. It's a price we must be. Like when you are in class, you must pay the price of studying. Now you are a parent, you must pay the price of parenting. I remember the days we were in high school. Some of my friends know we would be awake at 3 in the morning trying to read your feet in cold water in a basin to keep awake. You feel like you could have toothpicks on your eyes like this just to finish an assignment. Today we beg our kids to finish assignment. Why? They're playing on the phone. Listen, friends, and I'll be honest with you. It's not an easy road. But this road we are traveling is a road worth traveling. Career is great, but don't push your career beyond and above your family. Now, sometimes we give them toys, and we think toys and versus the time. Toys versus time. Toys will keep them busy while we are busy doing other things. We don't have time for them, so we give them toys. We give them money. We give them things like phones and tablets and pads and movies and access to internet and everything, and we don't walk with them through that. No, let me tell you, that's very dangerous. And finally, comfort over discipline. We want to be comfortable and let our children be more comfortable than disciplined. No. Comfort over discipline, because it is a comfort over character. Do you want comfort? When I ask, you give me, you don't question? No, you're destroying that character, because they'll think you're a yes person. The world is always yes. I listen to politicians and NGOs that tell us, we should remove exams from schools because they are stressing the kids. Trust you me, which world are we in that is not competitive? We are in a competitive world. Those kids leave and they go to university and they get out and they discover it's a cutthroat world. It's a man-eat-man world. It's a rat race world. For you to get a promotion, you must perform and deliver. You will not be rewarded for showing up at work or having an excuse, a story to tell. I couldn't come, I had a headache when I woke up in the morning. No, it's a real world. And that starts from the beginning. Let our kids know that yes, you can work hard and be rewarded for it. You laze around, there's no reward. It helps. So, after listing all these things that we are challenging ourselves about parenting, you need to ask yourself one last question. What can you do? There are three things you can do. One, you can do nothing. Just grumble, complain, and always say, oh, no, my kids, the government, blame everything, do everything else. Grumble and complain. Number two, you can blame everybody else. Pass the blame game. Blame everyone. Blame the government, blame the weather, blame God, blame the generation, the exam system, blame the 844 system of education, blame everyone except yourself. But you can also decide and say, I want to do something and make a difference in the life of my children and the generation that is coming. You can be part of the solution to the generation that is coming. I want to be part of the answer to the generation that is coming. Friends, you and I can be part of that solution. May God bless you as we look for the solutions to our next generation. This is Reverend John Mark saying, may this crossroad cross your road and give you answers. Let's pick it up next week when we talk about what must I do as a parent to raise up a good, godly, and excellent generation. We have some answers. We can share them and grow together. God bless you and have a lovely evening.